All right, well, here we go again. You know, if you're not sick of my videos yet where I'm going through the desert, this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to go through the desert. But it is different because I'm going to be so foolish as to drive a classic Mini, a Mint Stanley, the black 92 Mini that I drive everywhere, from the Pacific Northwest, specifically Kitsap County, Washington, down into the Southwest. We're going to go down through the deserts, through Nevada and Arizona. This car has been down there before, but last time it was on a trailer. And I didn't feel like driving all the way up in the truck and the trailer, all the way back down in the truck and the trailer. So I flew into Seattle at midnight this morning, racked out for a few hours at my mother's house in Port Orchard, hopped in this car bright and early, and I'm going to drive it down to Arizona. But on the way, right now I'm going to swing into A-Series Northwest over in Graham, see my good friend James. I think I blew out at least one, if not both, of the front shock absorbers on this like a while ago, and I've been just putting it off, so I'm not going to drive it all the way down there with crappy front shock. So we're going to swing in there. James is going to be all ready for me. He's really quick in and out. I don't have any tools, so it wouldn't matter how easy of a job it is. I can't do it. James says it'll take him like 10 or 15 minutes. And it's a good excuse for me to see James. Like I say every time, just all-around awesome guy. So yeah, first stop, James Thompson, A-Series Northwest. And then I'm going to head down I-5 into Oregon, barely. I'm going to just barely cross over on I-5 before I head east along the Columbia River Gorge for a few miles, up around the backside of Mount Hood, drop down into eastern Oregon, and from there down into Nevada. So we'll see. This has got to be one of the most reliable classic Minis I've ever had. We're going to put it to the test. So we'll see if this is going to be a fun video, or if this video is going to have me standing out in the middle of the desert somewhere with no cell phone reception, wondering what the heck to do. So wish me luck, folks. Let's go see James. Prineville, by the way, is headquartered right last night, I'm getting 39 miles to the gallon here on the highways. I'm going to double check that when I get to McDermott. So, drive's going great. It's a classic Mini. Let's be honest, they're not really known for top end, so I can't do 80 miles an hour sustained, at least not with my Mini. Usually right around 67 to 78 miles an hour, which puts me at about 3,600 RPMs. Every once in a while I get somebody coming up on my tail and passing, and that's cool. What they don't know is I'm in a classic Mini. Maybe I'm not going fast enough for you, but I'm going to get you on the corners. It's a Mini. I'm going to pass you on the corners. That's what these Minis do, right? Yeah, corners. Well, there he is, all tucked into his garage here in Buda, Texas. So I did, about 3 days driving him down from the Pacific Northwest to the desert Nevada and into Arizona. So about 1,100 miles, give or take, and he did phenomenal. And then we doubled that, about another 1,000 miles to Texas, and not so much, about 160 miles away. So almost, it just took a complete crap. Like God reached down and turned off the ignition. Culprit was exactly what I thought it was, which was the Hotsy Totsy Pertronix ignition system. And I figured that's what it was because that's what took a crap on it almost 1 year ago today. This is his third system. I did not replace that this time. We went with the old school coil. I'm still running the Pertronix distributor. What I have learned is that e-coil, when it takes a crap, apparently it holds hands with a distributor and they jump together. If you lose the coil, you lose a distributor. These suckers are expensive. I'm not doing it anymore, so I'll keep the pointless distributor, but we're back to an old school coil, and hopefully I don't have to deal with that again. So what did we do? I pulled 160 miles from here when it crapped out. I pulled the Mini off of the trailer. Excuse me, I pulled the Cambridge off of the trailer and ran the Mini up on it, which means the good old trusty Cambridge had to do 160 miles. That doesn't sound like a lot, but for that car, it is. It's the longest I've ever driven it. And the slow old boat did pretty good. Yay, Cambridge. So, all right, 2,000 miles in a classic Mini, and it made all but 160 miles of that. So, I'm going to push my luck, and tomorrow night I'm flying back up to the Pacific Northwest, where I'm going to do it again, this time with the green Mini. 67 Estate with the fresh 1293 in it. So up to A Series Northwest, and this time we're going to do it in the rain. That'll be interesting. Look at the weather report. It's not very favorable, but anything beats snow. Wish us luck. Ben Compton, Spirited Drives.